So, there are what I would call the big four rules. Okay, so it's the four there that are in the red rectangles. Okay, so I think it's almost easier just to look over to the right and just see it with numbers rather than get bombarded with X's and Y's and A's and stuff. So these all work as long as you've got a consistent base, you know, that little number at the bottom. So it doesn't matter what the base number is, as long as that's consistent throughout. So, you know, that first one where it says log 3 plus log 4 equals log 12, they could all be to the log base 4 or all to be to the log base 5. Okay, so provided that base log, so that lower suffix number, is consistent throughout, these rules hold. So I haven't bothered on the right hand side putting in a base, you know, where they're just going to put those little A's on the left, because it's just consistent throughout. So think of it just like when you have the index laws. Okay, when you multiply, you add the powers. When you divide, you subtract the powers. It's just the same thing, really. So if you do log 3 and you add it to log 4, you get log 12. Okay, so when you're adding logs, you multiply the actual numbers to get the 12. That's the multiplication law. Same the other way around, the division law. Log 12 take away log 3 is log 12 over 3, which is log 4. And then the third one, the power law. Say, imagine you've got log 8. Okay, well, obviously 8 is 2 to the power of 3. And then you've got the law that you can, that 3 can then come down in front of the log. So it becomes 3 log 2. Similarly, of course, 3 log 2, you can take the power upstairs and it becomes log 2 to the base 3, sorry, 2 to the power of 3, which is 8. Now, a very useful one, I think, to bear in mind, and again, I said I wanted to add this extra step in some of the examples. I think it makes it easier. Do remember that log any number to its own base is 1. So log 4 to the base 4 is 1. Log 8 to the base 8 is 1. So that fourth one I really wanted to highlight from the others they list, because I think those big four pretty much will answer every question that's out there. Okay, so that's all I want us to focus on, is those for now. So just looking at the examples. So example 10, so as I was saying, log 6 plus log 7 would just be log 42. The second one, log 15 minus log 3, well, you're going to divide the 15 by 3, that would be log 5. Now with that third one, we take the 2 upstairs, okay? So it becomes log 3 squared, and the second term we take the 3 upstairs, so that becomes log 2 cubed, okay? So just look down on the left hand side. So when we take those upstairs, we've got the 3 squared, which is 9, and the 2 cubed, which is 8, and then because we're adding those 2 logs, we can multiply them together to get log 72. So that's combining the multiplication law and the power law. Okay, so a bit of power law to start off with. That's that third of the big rules. And then we've used the multiplication law, which is the first of the big rules. Okay, and then similarly with that fourth one, we've done a bit of power law to take that 4 upstairs, and then we've divided. So we will be practicing plenty of these. And more of the same. I don't really want to focus on 11. What I wanted to do was to focus on 12. Okay, now, I quite like this line of thought. This is my rationale. When you get to that third line, okay, so we've got to log 4x squared equaling 2. All right, and it's easy how we've got there. We're just taking the 2 upstairs. Okay, now you've got logs on the left-hand side, but you haven't got logs on the right-hand side. So I think it's nice to introduce logs onto the right-hand side. So just see where I've got that blue arrow there. What I'll do, I'll just highlight this as I explain this bit, and just hope there isn't too much of a lag. So what I'm saying is I'm focusing in on that 2. Oh, no, good, no lag at all. So let's have a think about that 2. I can go and introduce any log I like. I could do log 9 to the base 9, log 8 to the base 8. But as I've got log to the base 10 on the left-hand side, I'm going to choose to introduce log to the base 10 on the right-hand side. So 2 is the same thing as 2 log 10 to the base 10, because log 10 to the base 10 is 1. Okay, so that's quite nice, I think, because having introduced that, I can then take the 2 upstairs, you know, that power law. So my right-hand side becomes log to the base 10, 10 squared. Now, you've then got logs on both sides. On the left, you've got log stuff. On the right-hand side, you've got log stuff. So you can basically cancel out the log bits, and you're left with 4x squared equals 10 squared, okay? And obviously then the logs have gone, you just solved the algebra. So it's completely up to you. Some of you may be thinking, I don't know what he's making such a fuss about. Going from line 3 to line 4, I can very clearly see in my head that how I get from 3 to 4. Personally, I can't. I struggle with that. So I like to introduce logs on the right, tidy up the right-hand side. So I've got log stuff equals log stuff, and so that stuff equals stuff, if you like. Okay, so see what you think. And I've similarly done that on question 13. Okay, your second line there, we've got log to the base 3 of brackets equaling 2. Now you might be very comfortable going from line 2 to line 3 there. You might be absolutely fine doing that bit. Okay, again, I just find, particularly after I've left it a bit and I come back to it, I can get a bit wobbly with that. So I like to go and think to myself, okay, on the right-hand side, I'm going to introduce some log to the base 3s. Okay, because I want, at the end of the day, I want to cancel out that bit. So I've gone and replaced the 2 with 2 log 3 to the base 3, because remember, log 3 to the base 3 is 1. I then take the 2 upstairs, so I've got log to the base 3, 3 squared, and then I've got log bracket equaling log brackets, and I can just cancel out those brackets. Okay, so I find it useful, so, and you can take it or leave it. So I think that then takes us into exercise 14E. Now these are a real Marmite topic, okay? So I think it's important we do absolutely every question. Some of you, this will come to you very naturally. Others of you will think it's the devil's topic, okay? The devil's chapter. So we will see. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording now. If any of you want me to go back and go over any of those examples again, I'm totally fine with that.